Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, It's All About the Barbecue Black Zone and Beer Network proudly presents to you another edition of Thursday Night BBQ Chat. I'm Steve Kress. I'm the grill department manager over at Wanamaker's in lovely, beautiful Downers Grove, Illinois. And the man sitting next to me, as always, on Thursdays, not every Thursday, but just when we have a show, the chairman of the board, Barbecue Black Zone and Beer Group, Mr. Ryan Hoagland.
Your intros are killing me. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome in Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. You'll have to excuse me. I had to slam down my dinner before I jumped on here.
It's just the intro. The intro just makes you well up.
Intro just throws me off, and I get chills every single time.
Yeah, I know it's.
It's crazy, but
Well, we're
before
back
we get going,
we're back after a couple of weeks, Ryan. You shouldn't be that rusty.
It is. The first show of the year.
Yeah.
Man, show number 20. Oh, or do we went with number 20 instead of number 1? I don't. Just keeping them going.
Right.
So we should be at a lot of shows by the end of the year. So if we keep it up weekly, but before we get going here, don't forget barbecueproshop.com. Go check them out. Great place. A lot of products. You need anything, use code CHAT10 for 10% off your orders of $10 or more.
It's always good that you add that in there. Ryan, today we have great guests, good friends.
Yes.
Haven't seen him in a long, long time, but I've seen him on Facebook. I've been following them all over to where they go all over the place. They pretty much own the point championship in the SCA from 2020 to about 2022 between the two of them. They just like to pass it back and forth, and how that goes. But they are good friends. They're one of the nicer barbecue family people you could ever meet. At least I think so. I mean, I wouldn't want to compete against them. They might be a little more vicious when they're competing, but I don't. As far as just people, they're nice people.
Definitely. And I believe they taught a class at Wanamaker's too, right?
They did, and they, one of the people that were at that class was Mr. Scott Nardi, who that year went on to win the World Championship. So I guess they have a role not only in points, but they have a little bit of help there to winning the World Championship that year. So that's pretty good. Hey, look at that. Mrs. Freak's on.
Oh, I don't even have a comment.
Oh my gosh.
Let me bring him to the stage. Tim and Andy Brown.
Hey guys. Hey.
Welcome in. How are you two doing this evening?
We're doing well, thank you.
All right.
How about
See, they're excited by the intro too. They can't even. They're just like, what did we sign up for?
I mean, it's definitely not going to be a across the table interview in New Zealand or anything like that. But I mean, I think we'll definitely have a lot more viewers than that, or 11 or 10.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, no.
I just shared it on all of our social media, so I'm hoping my mom at least tunes in.
Yeah. Oh, we do have Ann from the Smoke Freaks in here. Hey, Ann, how you doing?
Of course.
Yes. So, all right.
Oh, look at this.
Whoa.
Royalties in the house.
strong.
Johnny Joseph.
Wow.
Hey, Johnny.
Wow.
Johnny was also at that class. They played a minor role in it. I mean, you had Tim, you had Sandy, and then there was Johnny.
And then there's Johnny.
That was good to see Johnny Joseph came up. Actually, Johnny Joseph, I think, was originally signed to do the class, and then COVID hit, and then that wiped it all out, and then we got all three of them at one time. So it was worth the wait.
Yep. That was right. It was Johnny was scheduled. We were maybe going to be like special guests. COVID hit. We had to postpone it a full year. And then we kind of came back. And at that point, I had won my first U.S. championship. So Johnny said, okay, I'll share the headline with you. But I do believe he came in with his stake due to like the Rocky music.
Oh, yeah.
I think he said he won that throwdown. So
Yeah.
He's Mr. Showman.
Yeah.
Feldman, yeah.
And just so you know, Ryan, just so you're not alone. And Sandy came in, the first thing she gave me was the Sandy Brown 2020 point champion sticker.
Yes.
Hey, I have no shame in the sticker game. Let me tell you what.
It's
Steve
still
likes
up
it.
there. It's on the board right next to the stress relief barbecue sticker and all that other good stuff. So,
Yep.
speaking of that, everybody knows them as SCA people. I actually remember them far enough back that they were stress relief barbecue, and I think the first time I met them was way back, probably didn't even know who I was or whatever, but they were at the Westmont Red, White, and Barbecue over there. I think it's the first time I saw them.
Mhm.
And so take us a little bit back, because you guys did start as a full KCBS barbecue team.
Yeah, we started, and actually I'll start kind of from the beginning of stress relief. Both of us have stressful jobs. We're both IT managers. We actually work in very similar fields and have similar jobs, and kind of stressful. And Tim started kind of doing barbecue in the backyard just as a stress relief on a Sunday afternoon, kind of watching the smoker cook. And at the time, that's when all the barbecue competition shows were on. And so that kind of sparked some interest. And so we started doing some KCBS events. Our very first event was a local event here for us. We're in Rockford, Illinois. And so we did Belvedere.
Met the freaks.
Actually parked right next to Brian and Ann. They were our first barbecue team that we met. And
Talk about an intro. Talk about an intro to barbecue.
They had their music and their howling going. And but they've turned out to be such good friends. And actually
That's way back in the day.
Yeah, that is
Where is that?
Oh.
That's the lake in not Woodstock, McHenry.
McHenry. That was
2027.
McHenry. Yeah.
2017.
Yeah,
Winnebago.
that was McHenry, and we almost missed brisket turn-in. We were arguing over what should go in, and someone walked by, and someone said, Jeff Silvers actually said to us, something in the box is better than nothing.
And we got a call.
And we got 9th place. So that works. So we started doing barbecue in that first year. I think we did 4 events. Wound up RGCing. The Smoke Freaks GC'd, and we RGC'd. Winthrop Harbor. And when you get that first call, and we got a chicken call on our very first comp in Belvedere, and so hook, line, and sinker with that. And we did KCBS for a number of years. As Tim will say, we were a good two-meat team. We could never get all 4 to work at the same time. So then we started to do, I started to do SCA for Friday night cooks. We're allowed at the barbecue events like Westmont. That was definitely, Westmont was a Friday night event. The first year I cooked there, I think I got a 3rd. And for SCA, and then the second time I cooked there, I actually won there, and that was it's pretty fun when you get to win kind of a somewhat local event. We cook a lot of SCA, and there's not a lot in Illinois, so it's great when we had the opportunity to cook a local event.
I'll throw that up there talking about Westmont, but yeah, it is pretty sad to hear.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
Westmont, so it's sad news. Never easy when you get an event like that is gotta stop doing what they're doing. But then I know you're talking about Ann. So Tim and Sandy, thank you for the friendship over the years.
Yeah, and taught me how to read the score sheet, the KCBS score sheet. They were so excited we got a call, and then they get this paper, and there were yellow things attached to it. I'm like, what the heck is this? And she sat down, and I'll never forget it. We went through it. She explained it to me, explained the comment sheet. She was excited that we got comments. And that was something that really stuck with me. And Tim and I both, and especially now in the SCA, we try to help those new cooks. I've sat with some new cooks in the SCA and I explained to them what that score sheet meant. And even in our classes, we teach a lot about, the categories that you're judged on. So when I'm helping a new cook with the score sheet, I always think of Ann.
Nice. So what made you do the what made you decide to go from, I mean, obviously looking at that picture that Ryan put up, obviously there's a lot more equipment that goes with KCBS. But what made you decide to make the leap to the SCA? I mean, I know Westmont had one way back then, and did you do that one? Did you get the bug from there and say, hey, you know what, this is almost a little more fun than carrying and lugging all these cookers and tents and trailers and all this other stuff to an event?
You want me to take it? So when they first started doing the SCA, they'd come up to you on a Friday night and say, for $100, you can win $1,000. I thought it was a scam. I really did, and no offense to anybody that was trying to do it, but Sandy started doing it that first year. You had 5 events, and she was doing very well. And then Damon and Lou put on an event up in St. Paul, and it was 5.5 hours away, and it was a big purse. It drew a lot of the people from the SCA, all the big names, because it was the finale for the year. And I told Sandy, I said, we're going to drive 5.5 hours. And we thought that was the end of the world back then. And now that's
really far.
That's a short night cruise for us now. I'm going to cook. And so there was 70 some cooks there. And I rolled in. I had my small ceramic grill with me. We called it Barney, right? Barney was with. And I got 3rd place. And so I was shocked. But I had told Sandy on the way up I didn't want to rain on her parade. Well, that rained on her parade. And the day that they were making that announcement up there, they said, Tim Brown from Rockville, Illinois gets the golden ticket. And there's a couple hundred people sitting around there. And I turned around in front of everybody and said, what's the golden ticket? So I didn't make a lot of new friends that day.
We had no idea of golden ticket, points chasing, none of that. We were just doing it, cooking a steak. It was fun, getting to meet somebody. But again, you get that call on, and that was Tim's first event. So he was hooked. And then that next year, we decided we were going to do a little bit of KCBS and SCA, kind of probably like 15 events of each, type of thing, 10 to 15 for each. I think that year, we wound up not doing any KCBS, or maybe we did one. Maybe we did Belvedere. We did Belvedere. Yep. And we did 56 SCA events that year. So 2019 was our first full year kind of SCA.
And we finished 7th and 8th in the world.
I can't imagine 56 competitions in a year. It just blows my mind.
Last year was 126. We just finished 101. So we scaled up.
What? But then again, like you guys are saying, I mean, you have the ability that you can work a lot remotely, so you guys can still do work while you're doing all these. Yeah. So people aren't thinking it's like, hey, these guys are just running around doing You guys are working as well as doing, which is even more amazing, is that you're working and doing that stuff.
Yeah. So an example of that is like tonight we're leaving after this program because we got invited to cook at Cape Girardeau. So we're going to go there. And so the big storm's coming in. So we're going to leave here and go to Litchfield, Illinois. It's probably 3.5 hours. So we'll work from the hotel. I'll start working at 7. We'll be done at noon tomorrow. And then it's a 2.5 hour drive down to Cape Girardeau. So both of us will work in the hotel tomorrow. And so we do get to do that. We both have flexibility on Friday afternoons, but we work a lot of hours during the week. This whole month, December and January, are very, very busy for me. So no matter where we're at, I'm always on a computer, always corresponding back on my iPad or my phone on emails and directing people to do things and helping people answer questions and stuff.
Also with SCA, there's pretty much it's a double. When we're going someplace, it's a double cook. So it's very common on a weekend to get 3, minimum 2 cooks. Sometimes it's 4 cooks. If you're lucky, there's a Friday night, 2 on Saturday, maybe 1 on Sunday. So, having 100 cooks. We did 100 cooks this year. We didn't cook every weekend. We cooked a lot. There's some weekends it was a quad, or in Wisconsin, there's a 6-pack, right? So there's 6 events in 3 days over a longer weekend. And we like the events like that you can stay in one spot. With the SCA, there's a lot less equipment, like I said, a lot less smokers. Tim and I both cook on separate grills, so we're bringing 2 grills with us. We do have a trailer now. when you have a trailer, you tend to bring a whole
Little
lot of
bit more.
extra stuff. We have multiple tents, multiple heaters and fans, depending on the season. So SCA, I think when it started was truly you had a pop-up, you had a table, you had your grill, you were good to go.
Yeah.
As SCA is evolving and growing more popular, we're seeing more and more trailers. The smaller, they're still, 14 footers type of thing. But Tim and I, in this last year, I would say 50% of the time we used our trailer, but there were a lot of events that we went to that we just had our pop-up, because it was doable. It was easier for travel to go through. So you don't have to have the fancy rigs.
But there's a little story behind that is, most people have heard, and I try to promote it, not promote it, but talk about it to people awareness. But I had prostate cancer last year. And so the cancer itself didn't hurt me, but the treatments did, and the side effects that go along with that. So I had quite a lot of fatigue this year. And that's why Sandy said we didn't cook much or had our Yukon at the time. Well, that allowed Sandy to drive more. Usually I'm doing 90% of the driving, when we have a truck and trailer driving overnight or whatever. But Sandy really stepped up and did a lot of the driving this last year. So we really proved that to ourselves that we could still cook, just like we started out with a tent, pop-up, couple tables and grills, and we're good to go. And it all fits inside a Yukon.
We shared a grill a number of times too.
Wow.
So
So in 2019, you did 56 competitions.
Yep.
What was the discussion like? Did you guys both kind of say, well, who wants to make a run at the point total for 2020, or what made you think of this insanity that you were going to get into chasing points?
We were fortunate. The Midwest has really stepped up, in the SCA world. I think it used to be predominantly from the South, the Louisiana, Mississippi's, Alabamas, and the Texas, obviously, and Oklahoma. But the Midwest really stepped up. 2019 was Matt Overson's year for the points championship. So we got to meet Matt, Mark Huntley, Doc Johnson, Jeff Jacobson, who am I forgetting? Troy Johnson, all from the Midwest. And we all ran every single weekend once we started doing that. And it became the SCA family and the SCA phone circuit. So if somebody was driving at 2:00 in the morning, there was at least 3 other people in vehicles going with you or going back home to Iowa, to Minnesota, to Illinois. And so to do that, we watched that. And basically Sandy stepped up and, she was doing very, very well in those competitions. And we were sitting here in January because they just, with COVID, they switched it from ending October to, ending in December, starting January 1st. And we were sitting here and said, hey, can we really do this? And we said, why not? Let's try it.
So in 2019, Matt Overson from Iowa ran, and there was 5 of us from the Midwest in the top 10. So we called us the Midwest 5. And that was kind of an inspiration. And Matt Overson was like, you guys can do it. And so Tim said, all right, let's go. He was there to support me and kind of do it. And it was a huge accomplishment as a first woman to win the U.S. points chase. Was huge. And then so I had my chance, and then following year, we're like, okay, let's get Tim a ring. So 2021, he went out. Yeah, and that was Scott. And then
you only have 1 ring.
That was the.
It's an older picture.
Sorry,
No,
I didn't get the double ring. I apologize.
Oh, here, we can do this.
Well, you don't have to. They got it right there. I was just going to say, they got the hardware. I saw it on Sandy's hand when she was moving her hand around. I'm surprised she could lift her hand up with all the
They
the
are
weight,
heavy. I don't wear them all the time. They, I have them in my purse all the time, and I'm like, why is my purse so heavy?
Slash Johnny up. I'm sure he's got his 3 on. He wants to be on a podcast.
Yeah, right. He's probably got his 3.
Michael Jordan and LeBron James,
Yeah.
turn the rings off there,
Yeah.
But and it was just kind of, it was really nice that, as the first husband and wife to ever win U.S. champions, and we did it back to back, was kind of cool. So that we've set a lot of records, broken a lot of records, set a lot of records individually, and yet, you know, as husband and wife, a lot of people are, especially in the barbecue world, they're like, oh, you compete, like you're a team together. We're like, no, we actually compete against each other. Like SCA is an individual support, how it's tracked. We're very much though helpers. If you see, you know, when Tim's steak is on, I'm there with the timer and wiping out down the brush and the weight and getting all of that ready. And then when I'm cooking, he's my assistant. You know, type of thing. So we're very much, it's nice to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, or if you're in a panic, to calm you down a little bit, like deep breath, you know, let's retemp this. Don't get hasty. Don't go throw something out because we double line something, you know, like something turned in is better than nothing. And so it's nice to have that partnership.
Like Steve and I, you know.
Yeah, right.
On that intro.
Yeah, after that intro, you can't beat that intro.
Right.
So, do you want to do some comments, Ryan? After, well, ask your
Yeah,
question,
no,
and then we'll
I
do
was
some
going to go
comments.
through one more here, but I was like, you know, it must be nice to, you know, be able to go to a competition, spend all that time together with the two of you. And then, you know, I grabbed this one. I don't really know when it was from, but to go and take first and second in your competitions, you know, it's got to be.
Where's that at? I can see.
That was Arkansas.
Okay, here, I got to put the readers in.
No, it was that event that was really small, and then I took overall GC. This is bad. Like I could tell you where we were. Cushman, Arkansas.
I can't remember yesterday, and she can just look at the picture and the trophy and know exactly where they were.
It always takes a trigger. Somebody said, "Oh, we met you," and I'm horrible with names. I always apologize to people, and they're like, "Oh, we met at this contest." I'm like, "Could you just describe it or tell me where it was, and then it'll trigger." You know, and that's what it takes. Just like that, it took a little bit of a trigger. As soon as you said small Arkansas, I'm like, it was Cushman, 15 people or something that night or whatever it was.
I think though, you know, like I said, you know, we compete and we've gone 1-2 a couple of times, and he's won more and I've come to second more than he has in that type of thing. In that picture, it was in reverse. I did win and he came in second. Just noting that one.
I'll tell you, I just want to leave.
We actually have tied a couple of times. And we've tied, and it wasn't an exact tie. And so Tim won. That was down in Texas, and so he first and I was second. But earlier this year, last year, we tied with an exact score, and it was an exact perfect score. So that was a really special, perfect, we call it. That was a really special event.
All right, let me get to
You're finding good pictures, Ryan.
I can say you must have really been.
I don't remember that. Like, that Cushman one.
That's like today for today. It's like the first show he's letting me do most of the talking without interrupting me. So obviously he's doing a good job of snooping for pictures because
I'm definitely out of pictures after this. And I actually just pulled those pictures together from about 6:30 to 6:40.
Oh, nice.
While I was shoving down, my son is going into junior high, I guess you'd call it, 7th grade next year. So they had orientation tonight. So I had to stop on the way home from work and then get home and eat dinner and all that fun stuff.
It's a good thing you didn't have more time. I'm not sure what pictures he would pull.
I still search why I'm in here too. I'm going to go through here. We got Mr. Dan Dickey, if you're still in here.
Mr. Dickey.
Hey, Dan.
Tom.
St. Charles, that's on the road. Hey, Craig.
Mr. Carter. Party starter.
Craig's really a good friend of ours. Really, we worked with Craig quite a bit last year. You know, he ran for the ancillary championship last year, so we were fortunate to cook with him and Alan quite a bit as they were crisscrossing the country and stuff like that. So we've learned a lot from Craig. He helps us a lot. He's a good person to, you know, just bounce ideas off of and just to talk to, you know.
He was our Sunday morning call. Usually when we were driving home from someplace on a Sunday morning, Craig was the one who would call, or we would call him knowing he was up. And I think he was a good support system. And that's a piece of advice that I give to people who are, you know, thinking of kind of chasing or going after, you know, even for KCBS, is get some good mentors. a support system, people that you could call to, like when you're struggling with something, bouncing ideas off of, if you're, going to be competing and you're doing this crazy points chase, you need people to call, right? So Tim and I were good that we always have each other, but sometimes we need outside people. Like I said, Ann and Brian Neal are huge, people that we talk to. Craig, Matt Overson, Johnny. We talked to him earlier this week. Jeff Jacobson, Alan Smith, and Eric Hodson from Boars Night Out. Really, so it's important to surround yourself with a strong support system.
Yeah, no, and then just so people who are watching it, Matt, I believe he won the world championship in there somewhere, and he also does the Wicked Pig Marinade, which
so he won the U.S.
championship,
points.
not world.
He won the points championship
Okay,
in 19. Yeah, his sister won the world championship in 2020.
20.
Yep. That was kind of that's right. Forgot point and then world for the sister and then excellent. Yeah, no, the SCA family is almost like the barbecue family. They all kind of relate together, and it's as you can see from some of the people on here, it's just it is a competition, but people understand it's competing, but everybody helps each other. I mean, it's not fun winning if somebody can't turn something in to compete against, so it's everybody's always helping each other. There's always helping, giving tips or ideas. And it's kind of one of the weirdest things you'll ever see. It's just the way people compete and then they're friends at the same time. It's just something you just don't see a lot of. It's usually real bitter competition, but not in barbecue. Well, I guess some people get like that, but for the most part, I've seen
people definitely do. But
yeah, I mean, our mission is to pay it forward. So as you talk about helping, I saw Dan Dickey on there. We've talked. We've known Dan for a long time, and
barbecue days,
and we've seen him struggle a little bit, and always willing to have a conversation with him or any other new cook, like Gordon and all them out there. So it's it's definitely it's a way to pay it forward, and we all should do that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think he's referencing that where for the Freaks won first place and then Stress Relief was second. The Lucky Lighter League was big that day.
Or was that Winthrop? Winthrop
Harbor.
Yeah.
I want to say, is that before really Lucky Lighters? It might have been.
That's 7 years in the making now.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
Yeah, that's right in there. Yeah.
Griddles and Medals. Hey guys, how's it going? She got their ding ding in there, but
ding ding.
Craig said it's Tim at the Union Break, so I'm trying to get back to right there.
So there's a story behind Union Break there. I saw that message. So with my cancer, obviously I was fatigued, and there's always a chair around, and so I would take some naps. So they got nicknamed Union Break, and then Jeff Jacobson and Kevin Vera went out, and actually Kevin's got a HVAC fab shop and stuff like that. They actually made a sign that says Union Break to hang on my chair. So if you see me crash at a thing, I'm just kind of sitting there. Usually I have one eye open, but there's many times I'm taking a little nap just as I get better.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Griddles Middle said the same thing. Having a partner is best. That's Nikki and Jay out of Michigan. They do a lot of griddle cooking and everything. It's good friends of mine. Tom says thanks for all the help.
Tom is a great cook. Yeah. He took our class, and
he was,
and he beats us a lot.
He does. Beat us at our own contest.
Every now and then, I'm like, "What recipe did we give you, or what one are you working with?"
Well, it was it's kind of funny too, because it's kind of like when you had the class with Johnny Joseph. Obviously, Johnny Joseph at that time was the point champion, and you guys kind of always did the teacher and the students, and then you guys became the took over the teacher, and then you guys are the teacher, and Tom took that class at Wanamaker's, and now he's beating the instructors. So it's kind of it like Tim was saying, I mean, you always have to keep that barbecue line alive. You have to keep passing it along so that it continues. It's neat that you do that. Yeah, Tom just said that. The best thing when you beat your teacher. Yeah.
But it also helps, up our game. Like people ask that, you give all away your secrets and, teaching and stuff like that. But at the same time, when you see like Tom and, some of the other ones that are beating you, you just, you have to find ways to continue to win, and it comes down to consistency and, just, hitting your marks.
It also goes to show that, I mean, you know, if you're having people that are coming to your class and you're teaching them, and then they're coming out beating you in the points, that it's, you know, the classes are definitely working, right? So I mean, people are learning from it, taking that, going out and actually using it. So I mean, it's, if anybody has a chance to get into one of the classes, definitely sign up for it.
It's a proud day for us to watch, you know, students or past students, you know, get to the stage, right? You know, I mean, there's only 10 spots that are available at a contest, and you know, it's nice to see people get up there.
Yeah, no, it was a fun day. It was a fun day cooking, watching everybody cook, and
it was cold, if I really remember right.
It was in March, yeah. So it was a little. There was a little bit of a chill to it. I think we had to move the grills into one of the. I think Johnny Joseph. I think Johnny was out. He was outside.
Oh no, he was in the greenhouse with a heater.
Oh no, he was in the hoop house thing. Yes, there was one grill that was. I know there was one grill outside, but I know
that
two
was
were.
Ours.
Yeah, that was.
That was your. Yeah, two were in the hoop house, and then. One was outside because it did get a little chilly that day, because once that sun moves over and the shadows start coming over the back there, it was kind of cool, because it was March still, so it was a little cooler. So so you mentioned the guys from Boar's Night Out. I know they're one of your big sponsors. Who came up with Midwest Dust? Was that you guys, or was that them, or was that a combination of things you guys used, or was that a Boar's Night Out concoction?
So all the credit for the invention of Midwest Dust goes to Jeff Jacobson. You know, he's the founder of Midwest Dust. We were fortunate that, you know, over our 3-4 years here, we've got to prototype many products like Wicked Pig. Matt had came up with it. He won his worlds with that, but he allowed us to use that. And then Midwest Dust, you know, Jeff came up with that and allowed us to sample it and stuff like that. Jeff and I were kind of always sitting around and playing with words. There he is, Jeff. So playing with words, and obviously I was having a little play with that, and we were in a pretty good contest or competition with the guys from Texas that year. And then you know, they always use the expression dust, and then we were from the Midwest. We were all very proud of that. They refer to us sometimes as Yankees, so that's where the Midwest came from, and the dust was just a play on the other one. So yeah, Midwest Dust is a great product. You know, and obviously Jeff then collaborated with Boar's Night to bring that under the White Lightning umbrella, to bring it to commercially and bring it available.
And they're going to have another one soon called Southern Thunder.
Should be out now. Should be out.
Southern Thunder. We've been running it for the last
year.
6 months, 9 months, 6 months, something like that. We go through sometimes especially when we cook down south with them, we get to test some of the early samples and stuff like that. But they've had a pretty stable sample, and I think it was supposed to go in production around this time.
Right.
So we're hoping that comes out pretty soon. But it's a nice nice flavor profile.
That'll complement the rest of the White Lightning line.
Yeah, what did Johnny says something down there? The Louisiana Bay was cold. Did you have a class in Louisiana Bay?
No, the Louisiana
boy was cold. Oh, Louisiana boy. I can't see. But you know what?
That's why I have to put my glasses on.
Well, here's the thing. I can't see close up with my glasses on. I do have glasses. I can't read close up. So I take them off so I can read close up, and I still can't read. Yeah, Louisiana. Yeah, Johnny was cold that day. I do remember he was cold that. Yes.
Yeah.
See, here's another one of your students in your classes.
Eddie Walker.
Out of Georgia.
Yeah.
Headed to Fort Worth next month, thanks to Tim and Sandy's class with Johnny. Even hit a perfect score this year, thanks to them.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's Johnny's good cook.
Kind of and then Eric Hodson wants to know, Sandy, what does that mean?
It means nice steak, my friend.
per Alan Smith.
All right. So it definitely doesn't mean my friend, but we understand that.
We can't say that out loud.
My friend, when we have a good steak, that's what gets called out.
Well, you know, Ryan, I do want to say this, because Tim and Sandy are here today. I have been watching the customer count up there in the total, and then top up there in the corner, and we did reach 20, which is like that ties like the record with Jess that we had 20. We've been holding almost 20 people. So congratulations to you guys for bringing all these people on to watch this show, because normally, you know, when it's just Ryan and I, there's like 1 or 2.
The power of social media.
And my mom isn't watching because she keeps calling.
She's
we just went down to 16. I was gonna say if she gets on here, we might be at 21. But.
Yeah, well, she's probably like calling you, like, "What are you doing on that show, and why are you?"
Well, I go live a lot for awards there, and the main reason why I do it is for my mom, so my mom can watch and see how we're doing, and she's had the opportunity to come and see us cook, and she gets all excited for it. And so I do it a lot. You know, I do it for her so she could watch, and then a lot of the other families get to watch, because a lot of times we are traveling quite a bit, and you know, Jeff's family's not there, or Rod or Rusty's, you know, type of thing. So mom is our number one viewer.
Yeah, no, I try my best to watch them and share them out, because I think it's neat for people to see how the whole thing works out.
Yeah, and if you want to know what spices, what seasonings are working and winning, listen to awards. You know, that's one of the things with SCA awards. Like, we'll say who we are, what we cooked on, you know, what charcoal we used, what seasonings we used. You know, so that's a great way, a little bit different than, you know, let's say the KCBS, that, you don't know exactly what they're using.
They're giving away my secrets, Ryan, because that's how I select products for the wall. Sometimes I watch a lot of SCA championship trophy calls, because I listen to see how many times. That's how I knew Midwest Dust, and that's how I got Wicked Pig on the wall. How many people are saying the exact same thing, and, you know, what rubs and what's, you know, they're using. I wish I had more control over which grills I could bring in like that, but unfortunately I can't. But yeah, I do watch that. I watch the awards a lot for spice content to see what's the new latest and greatest moving thing.
Yeah.
Coming up this. Oh, there's 21. They broke the record, Ryan.
Mom must have joined.
But
I really thought, Steve, you were gonna.
Yeah. With that seasonings and watching awards, one of the people, you know, in our classes and just come up to us and ask, and like, well, how do we know what spices hit in certain regions? And I'm like, look to see, you know, who are the top 10 cooks in that area, who's getting calls, listen to awards, what are they shouting out, you know, and is there a regional favorite that you're hearing, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I know we had Johnny Cremines. Say, Johnny, how's it going? Eric was laughing at your response there. Griddles and Vittles, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look and see if we can even see what that was. But then my good friend, Stephen Schmidt. I think that's his, is that his first time on the show?
It could be. He may be 21. I mean,
it just hit 22 there. So
I know
I
we're at 22.
really thought, Steve, you were going to go, oh, we're at 22 again. I thought you were really going to go that 19 of those are from It's All About the Barbecue.
Oh, 23 now. Wow, this is like amazing.
We can't see the counter, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hey, we're breaking more records.
We're breaking more
records.
There's a blast from the past.
Our bio.
Look at that name from the past right there, Mr. Eric Babb.
Oh,
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, where's he? Peoria now? Where's he at?
Peoria is in the Peoria area. Yeah, Mr.
Zach
Miller out of Iowa.
Awesome cook as well. Was there for his first win. Steve
up,
Schmidt, I want to say we met him barbecue days in Wisconsin. No,
the Virginia guy.
Oh,
He's a
then it
Virginia
wasn't.
He's a grill guy. No, he's cooking with the Schmidt, but.
Well, speaking of, you know, because I know that they want to get ahead of the storm coming up, but maybe you can. Ryan started last year. He started what's called the Griddle Battle, and basically what it is basically just almost like an SCA event type of thing, except you cook everything on a griddle. So this could be a new thing for the Browns to venture out into and see if you can dominate that like you did the SCA.
Yeah. So yeah, we actually what is it, the 4th of July contest in Iowa. We get to go out there and actually relax a couple of days. There's 4 contests over 3 days. So we actually threw the Blackstone in the back of the truck and, you know, made breakfast and that kind of stuff out there. We did our big potluck dinner with all the steaks and stuff, leftovers. But then it stayed in the truck with us at about every contest. So we started cooking breakfast for a lot of our friends at the SCA contest. You know, we'd get out there and make breakfast sandwiches and stuff like that. So, you know, Sandy's really embraced it. So, yeah.
Steve gives me a hard time because, I mean, you got to something like SCA and KCBS, I mean, everybody knows about those, right? So, starting something new, Steve gives me a hard time because I try to blast it out there as much as I can, but
it's the hottest market going, as far as if you want to talk about grill sales. I mean, look at how many people posted after Christmas. My wife got me a 28-inch or a 36-inch or a 22. I mean, I saw hundreds of posts out there on it,
We were in a big box store and he's like, I think we need a bigger one. And I'm like, we have like just a 22. I'm like, it's fine. That's
no, I said we need a bigger one.
It works fine.
Oh, they do work great. I now have a 36 and two 22s to travel around with. Eric said that he's now in Carl Junction, Missouri.
Okay.
Wow. Well, good for you, Eric.
It's moving further south.
Further and further away. Well, it's warmer weather. I mean, I would too with the snow that's coming in.
Jeff says Tim's breakfast on the Blackstone is amazing. So,
well, there
I
you
don't
go.
get any credit for the breakfast.
Wow.
No bacon for you.
Right there.
Candace Rogers is one of the SCA reps, heavily involved down south. Rob Rose.
Well, we have 24 people.
Wow.
Wow. This is not only is it breaking records, this is the most people that we've had on all year.
I think
all year. For sure.
I'm starting to get a little camera shy and nervous with all these people watching.
Yes.
There's a lot of.
We had the most amazing time with the first griddle battle in Eureka along with Casey.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the griddle. What are you trying to do?
Explain it, Ryan. Ryan, the floor is all yours.
Wow.
He's interested.
He's ready to go.
So, I mean, griddle battle is pretty much the same thing. SCA, KCBS competition, but everything has to be on a griddle. So we did our first one last year in Eureka at the Central Illinois Barbecue Throwdown with
Paul
Brandon.
Paul
Paul
Buab.
was there, yes.
And Brendan.
Yep.
And Brendan.
And actually, you were talking about Cape Girardeau. Brandon, I was just talking to him. He's going to be down there, I think, to judge the SCA comp coming up. So, and then, because we have, is it 2 weeks? I think we have SCA.
Yes. The 25th, Brett Galloway will be on for I kind of like doing like a whole, it was a Tim and Sandy inspired. I thought of Tim and Sandy to be the first guest of the year. And then I kind of got on the Wanamaker show on the 23rd, I've got Boar's Night Out, White Lightning. And then I got on the 25th, I got Brett Galloway from the SCA. So I kind of was like this whole like, hey, let's just do a whole SCA Tim and Sandy things for the month.
Yeah, we'll see Brett tomorrow, right? And you're going to be there? Yeah, Brett's there.
All right, Brian, back to
the griddle battle. Yes, thanks, Andy. I love you.
Because you know what? We were actually talking today, like our accomplishments. We're very proud of it. And we're both very much, we like goals, right? And we like challenges type of stuff. And we're like, okay, what's next? What are we going to try to do next? So the griddle thing just kind of now, Peter's like, what's the categories?
Yes. So right now it's the categories are kind of up in the air. That we've had 2 of them only so far. So there's only 2 last year. I'm looking to hopefully do 3, maybe 4 this year. Looking at Illinois and possibly some out in Indiana. I was looking at one in Michigan with Griddles and Vittles with Nick and Jay, but we couldn't get with their Legion, couldn't get it worked out. But categories are kind of up in the air. So the first time we did a breakfast category and a burger category. Kind of leaves it open to where you're not,
2 things I make a lot.
Yeah, me too. So, but it's just the possibilities on a flat top are endless. Griddles and Vittles with Nick and Jay, for example, when they did their burger, they did not only a Juicy Lucy burger on the Blackstone, but a deep fried Juicy Lucy burger.
Wow.
Oh.
So everybody's like, well, where did they deep fry it at? You can't. Why is that? But they put an aluminum pan on the griddle and put oil in it, and now they have a deep fryer.
Wow. Yeah. Nice.
So many different things that you can do. The last one we did here in Yorkville at the Legion, we had breakfast, sandwich, and dessert. So we're looking to keep it probably 2 to 3 categories. More than likely, it'll stick with 2 categories for majority of the contests. But it's up and coming. Brandon's been a great help trying to getting it going. And, without him, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today, let alone. So, hopefully if the Browns want to come in and compete.
Are there points? Do winners get points?
Yeah.
Is there a rating?
There's
Or a trip?
definitely not a
New
rate yet.
Zealand?
I have some friends in New Zealand if you want to go see them.
We probably saw him.
But yeah, no, I mean it's just starting out. So like I said, it's last year was the first year. We had two competitions. It worked out great so far, and hopefully it will just continue to grow. Is what we're hoping for.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will definitely
Well, keep
be
us
looking at.
informed.
Yeah, keep them
so,
informed, Ryan, because I'm sure they'll
Well,
compete. They'll give you a lot of good advice and creative advice as to what to do, because they're like that. They're
If you
very
like
they're
to,
very
you can follow
helpful.
the Grit Battle page on Facebook for all upcoming events.
Well, the good news for you is we're scaling back on SCA this year, so we need something else to do. So there you go.
Definitely, yes.
Just don't do it over July 4th.
No, I try. That's one of the hardest things with myself is, even our Thursday night show, like next Thursday, I'm not going to be here because my son is banned. Like, I'm not going to give up my family stuff because you won't ever get it back. So that's one of the things that I've talked to about with my wife, that I just won't miss anything that I have to be at, so that's the hard part about trying to grow something is, missing things or shows that people want to have. Well, what about this date? Well, I can't. I'm sorry, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully.
Feels like your contest should be on a Sunday morning, right? Because you want to come cook breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
So make it a Sunday. You know how you go to pancake breakfasts on Sunday and fireman breakfasts on Sunday?
Yeah, we've done the last two were on Saturdays. The one at Central Illinois Barbecue Throwdown was at the same time with the KCBS, so that was kind of a little logistic thing of we had an early morning turn in, and then we had another one at like 1 or 2 o'clock. So it's like a lot of sitting around waiting for the next one. But the second one that we did in Yorkville was a standalone event. It was the only event there. I was hoping for it to be a lot better weather, but the winds came in and the rains came in, so it kind of dampered everything else that we were planning on having. The Legion was bringing in vendors and stuff so they could try to get more of the public in there and get them involved and see what's going with everything. But
Did you see Eric? Eric made a comment there. It's not the Browns' success. It's the fact that Thursday night football isn't on anymore. So
yeah.
That's probably very true.
Sure.
yeah, and then he did say he would fill in for Ryan next week. We do have a special guest host
We
next
do have a
week.
special guest next week already filling in. And
Yeah.
if I can sneak away or something like that, or if the band concert is over, I'll definitely try to jump in as well. But
So Ryan, if you need help, let us know. I mean, we'll help contribute or however we can.
I definitely appreciate that. I know once Brandon gets back from this weekend, because I think he's going to talk a little bit with Brett while he's down there.
Yeah.
And see if there's something, SCA, Griddle Battle. If there's something there, if something we can do, it's out there, right? And my fear being a new person to this is, somebody coming in and going, well, I don't need you to do this. I'm just going to go do it. And I hope that's not the case, but we'll see how things go.
No, I think it's a hot opportunity out there.
Yeah.
Approach it correctly. I think it could be big, just because there's such a huge volume of griddles out there. And you can buy a griddle for a couple $100 and you're in the game. So
Yeah.
So it's got that passion. There's a lot of passion behind it too. There's a lot of, as you've seen from Jess and Robert Rose and Griddles and Vittles and Schmidt. So it's something you watch some of the, if you follow Ryan's group, a lot of the food that they cook on there, it's just incredible. It blows me away, because especially from selling them, the people that come in there and say, well, what would you even cook on these? And I'm just like, oh my Lord. It's
everything.
It's like you can't even. I always tell them, I go to Barbecue Blackstone and Beer Group, sign on and go look at all the pictures, and you'll be absolutely amazed at all the food that you can cook on it. So,
well, I won't say that my barbecue has brought me to where I'm at with Steve and everything. I met Steve at Wanamaker's at one of Sean's classes with Risky Brisket, and I've known Sean Young for over, I think, almost 25 years now. It's kind of crazy to think, but. I went there, and I think I say it on almost every single show now, that it's like full circle, that I'm going and learning at a class to where it's brought me to everything with Blackstone, to being part of the Blackstone Griddle crew. Last year I went out to Blackstone headquarters. They flew us out there to see everything, to now I'm actually helping Sean and teaching some of his classes, or
Nice.
teaching alongside with him, which I know you guys are talking about the cold, the 19th, not this Friday, but next Friday, I'll be at Tischler's, and I'll be outside, and it's supposed to be a high of 12 that day. So
I might have to show up to that one, I think. I just
Hey, we
wanna see
cooked
how-
last year SCA in Rockford, Iowa, -17 on Valentine's Day. We cooked. Our temps were 55 degrees, so
Well, yeah. See, I don't have the tent. I don't have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wall. That's what's going to be the problem. So I almost looked at getting one of the. I'm not a fan of the electric series griddles with the ceramic coating, because I've seen nothing but a lot of problems with them, and that's not just with Blackstone. That's with a bunch of other brands as well too, unfortunately. So, but I thought about getting one just to do those indoor classes
Yep.
instead of standing outside.
the other thing you should plug Sean's work with the veterans. He does a great job there.
There 100 hours. Yes, I
Yeah.
do a lot for that, and put it out there. mchh.org if you guys haven't checked that out. Great event, great contest. Maybe we can talk to him about saluting with smoke. I know he did the saluting with steak
Yep.
one year, which we actually competed in.
I think it
And
actually canceled, right, because of the winds or storm?
No, the steak.
That was
And
saluting with-
we weren't able to go because we were points chasing someplace else.
Yep.
And then one year
It
we
was the
had
same
our,
as our
it
contest.
was the same weekend as our steak event. And that was the year that the storms really hit bad in Yorkville. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
one of them came out,
Yeah,
Steve
too bad.
Ryan came out and stuff like that, cooked ours on Sunday.
Yeah. Just totally forgot what I was going to say.
That's a
Yeah,
good
the-
thing.
the
Ryan
one-
just totally forgot what he was going to say. So that
Saluting
means
with,
he's done
saluting
talking.
with steak. You were talking about when you were talking about your brisket, about not getting something in the box. There was a burger ancillary for that one, and the rep came out and we seen him, and he told us, he goes, once I walk out and I look around and I turn around, that's it. You're not getting back in. But he's seen us, and we're like, hey, we're coming, and we ended up taking third in burger
Nice.
for that one. So. but the
That's
fourth
one of the nice rules that Brett and them have, versus KCBS, where it's slam the clock down and you're done. If they can see forward motion that you're coming, and we've used our friends, we all mentioned earlier, you have somebody standing out front and somebody in the middle waving. We've got one coming because Troy Johnson, Sandy, and Rod Hadachek are going to be the last ones at every contest. Jeff Jacobson. So they turn in sometimes with 30 seconds to the negative.
Yeah.
Forward motion.
Forward motion is the
and
key.
someone sees that you're coming, you're good.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, there's nothing you cannot cook on a griddle. Soups, gravy, steaks.
So Rob's my brother. I did see his comments there. So
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And then Eric said that he loved you guys. I see that one on there. That one is, and then this one here. Two of the first few there. Yeah. Pity Q was. I was sad to see Pity Q go. I enjoyed Eric cooking in the
Yeah.
competitions.
We cooked next to him quite a number of years.
we get to see his trailer all the time because the freaks have it now. So
Yeah, the smoke freaks out.
so we took to view the trailer.
Right.
That's why I met the freaks when they were renting the U-Haul and throwing everything
Oh.
back. And I don't know if Ann's still in here, but we always talk that the turkey smoke that Sean did. Smoke Freaks beat us first and second. We got second place. They took first by point. I think it was 1,000th of a point they beat
Oh.
us by.
Right.
But
If that judge would have only.
we would have just only.
There's Ann.
She is. She's still in there.
there.
I'm sorry, I can't let it go.
Exact score.
Exactly. She probably knows the exact score.
I'm sure she does. Yeah, I don't anymore, but oh well. God, look at that. They're almost time is up already. So you just flew right
Yeah,
by.
I think time is almost up. We'll let these guys go so they can get themselves ready to go. Have safe travels tonight, and hopefully you get to your hotel before anything gets goofy or really snowy. But yeah, thanks for coming on, and we'll have to look at doing another steak class with you guys there, because I know everybody enjoyed it. We had a good, Smoke Freaks were there. Smoke Freaks were there. Everybody, there was a lot of, it was widely, the cartel had a good representation in there.
That was the beginning kind of the Kurds.
Yeah.
that was kind of the year that they really took off. But
They're strong cooks now.
yeah, really strong cooks. But yeah, we would love to come, do a class. We're looking and we are kind of in the planning still stages. We might be doing some semi-private classes down actually the week of Worlds in SCA in Fort Worth. And we're always interested in teaching. It's something we both have a passion for, kind of paying it forward. So people want us to come to your store or location to do a class, please, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when you guys get back into doing full swing classes, I don't know what your schedules are, but yeah, just let's get back together and think of a day to do stuff. Cause it's, I really enjoyed the class and it worked really well. And like I said, it's a good class, and hopefully it spurs some more stuff in here. Like I said, I'm sorry that it seems like all the competitions in Illinois are slowly but surely disappearing. And SCA's kind of started, and then now they're kind of fizzling out again. So it's kind of, I don't know what's with Illinois and the Chicago area or whatever it is, but it seems that everything's around us.
Griddle battle's taking over.
Griddle battle's taking over.
But thank you for inviting us. Really enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, you guys. You guys have a good night and be safe and good luck. Yeah. I know, by the way, if anybody's in that area, this is Ryan. Next year, you and I got to go to this competition. It's in Cape Girardeau. It's inside. It's a competition. Look it up online. I don't know the name of that. For always, you guys,
when pigs fly.
When pigs fly. Yeah. Besides Tim and Sandy being there, if you go and you look at some of the names that are going to be there, it is like the all-star of barbecue going down there. So it's almost worth, if you're a big barbecue fan, try and get yourself out to that and check that out. Ryan, I think you and I are going to make plans to go to that next year.
Yeah. And the barbecue is like people's choice. So there's samples
Ooh.
So these barbecue teams will be cooking and the public actually gets to taste.
But they're pairing the barbecue pros with veterans. So that's what's
or
cool.
First responders.
First responders, but that's the
cool first responders. Yeah.
Yep.
That's similar to what Sean does with.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. That's. I think Sean's was one of the first barbecue events that I've ever cooked in, and loved that aspect of it. Getting
wow, look at Jim says, Ryan, you and I are two of the best.
I know, that's awesome. I really appreciate it. Come back next Thursday. I won't be here. Might hit 30 people. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, right. All right, guys.
Again, nice meeting you. I know like I said, we've been friends on Facebook for a while, but it's nice meeting you and talking to you for the first time. Safe travels, and we'll have to do this again later in the year for sure.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Good. We'll do it live from a griddle battle.
Oh, there you go. Oh, she's throwing it down, brings up and everything. She's throwing it down.
Yeah.
Go to a bubblegum machine and get a ring. Bring it that contest.
I will. You guys come to a griddle battle, I will have a ring.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night. Guys. Safe travels.
Yep. Two of the greatest people in barbecue, I think. They're fun people. Like I said, they pass things forward. Their classes are amazing. You couldn't find two people that are probably just as competitive as anybody, but they're like I said, they're always willing to give the hand to help everybody out. Great couple. I'm glad I know them. That's all I can say. So
it's nice that the fact that they get to do that. Whereas my wife doesn't barbecue or anything like that, or doesn't cook on a griddle, and to be able to travel around and spend that time together is just a great aspect with family and stuff like that. So,
well, Trisha likes to come and eat the barbecue with me.
Well, I mean, you don't cook either, so.
Well, I know, but that's the thing. I mean, we got a partnership in eating. I mean, that's without having to do all that work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If I had a place to cook, I would start cooking, but I don't have anywhere to cook. I'm in an apartment.
Yeah. All right.
I gotta pair up with some teams or something. But anyway, let's do we got a few minutes. Well, we got like 30 seconds, but we can always extend it a little bit. But those of you who missed the past weekend, we'd had the first barbecue love stop of the year. It is at a traditional place up there at Sweet Baby Ray's Catering up in Wooddale on Irving Park Road. If you can check out the live video Ryan and I did, check out a bunch of the pictures. I know I posted a bunch of pictures. I think Roy posted a bunch of pictures. Tom C, Tim and Sandy are gone. Good night. Look at that. Look at that total just drop right down to.
Yeah.
It's like the temperatures this weekend are going to go right down. But we had a great time. We had a great time. Deuce Raymond really, I think it's spoiled us. I think it's the best that the Barbecue Love Tour has ever been treated. Not that none of the other places did anything wrong. It's just Deuce came out. He cooked a pastrami for a special and actually sliced it right at the table. I did post a video, I believe, of that, of him slicing the pastrami at the table. Wow. And it's not even, as Ryan and I were both saying, it's not even on his menu. And we were just kind of like, Deuce, how could you not have this on your menu? But a lot of great people. We had the usuals. Roy was there. I always want to call her Nancy. Karen was there. Ryan, of course, was there. Caden was there to be the cameraman. Of course, myself and Trisha. And then Trisha brought her almost like her whole family was there. So it kind of worked out. We worked in two shifts.
Yeah. And speaking of the pastrami, I mean, for those of you that know my son and know how picky he is, ate the pastrami and had a food coma on the way home, fell asleep in the car.
Ryan texted me a picture of that.
And I actually had to buy more pastrami for him to take home that he actually took to school for lunch.
I wonder if he sold it. Or think he sold it at the school for? I mean, I would have. I mean, it was good enough that I would have said, "Hey."
No, he's already done all that. Where he used to buy sticks of gum and he would sell sticks of gum and then make enough money to go buy more plus profit. I'm like, all right,
good man.
Mom said no.
He's smart.
Look at that. Tim and Sandy leaving. We're down to 7.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Great show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Join us every Thursday night. Every Thursday night, 7:00. We'll both be here, or one of us will be here. Which one? You never know. But majority of the time, will be both of us will be here. Next week we have Ryan, as he said, he will be at your band concerting again? Is that what you said? Band concert?
Yeah, my kid's band concert.
Yeah, so that's fun. And so next week, we weren't going to do a show. And then I talked to her. Somehow I got into a conversation with my good friend, Mike D, who's been on the show briefly as a guest to push Michelle's women's event. I don't remember what it was, but it was a women's event. And so he's going to come on next week. He's going to, I remember what that was. I know it was
a rib cook.
Yeah, it was a woman's. It was just women a barbecue rib cook, so he's going to be on next week. We're going to do a special on. I have no idea who's going to show up for the show. I know Mike D will be my co-host, but I don't know. I told him. I said you're down there at the MBBQA event type of thing, and you want to promote it, so you just. I'll let them know how to put the code out, and then we'll see who signs up for to come on and visit. So if you want to know a good surprise, interesting show for next week, sign on next week Thursday at 7, and be surprised as to see who we might see, because I'll be just as surprised as you are. So yeah, Ryan might even sign on. He might sneak on.
Try to sneak out. We'll see.
Sneak on. In the middle of a concert.
Rob says I'm going ferreted in the Blackstone comps. I see that it says I had to look it up. I didn't know the word, but it says like in search of. But if you're talking about the griddle battle, you can check out the griddle battle page on Facebook.
Right.
Just
so that's it. So next Thursday we got MBBQA show with me and Mike Davis, and then the following week. Check it all out. I got them all out there already, but Ryan and I will be back, and we'll be doing a Brett Galloway from the SCA. And then next Tuesday, I don't have a Wanamaker show, so don't look for me at the Wanamaker show.
So he's interested. There we go. See, I need layman's terms.
Ryan's not smart enough to know that. I didn't even know what that word was.
Right. I was going to say, did you know what it was? But yeah,
I could have said
Griddle Battle page on Facebook. We'll have information there. You can always message me there if you have any questions about that. But another great show, another great Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Seen a lot of great people in here. I mean, geez.
What a way to start off the year. Tim and Sandy are awesome. Are they not awesome?
Yeah.
They're just awesome.
I'm going to be here next week, so it might go down a little bit. But
Might go down. So what do we say now? The record's now 24. 24.
24 for 24. Look at that.
24 for 24. Thank you everybody for watching. God, it was great to see people like Johnny Joseph in here. That was kind of exciting. And then Tom C, because he's a good friend. He shops at the store all the time. Emlyn, he does a lot of volunteering. I know him. He does a lot of volunteering with Operation Barbecue Relief with me. Tom does as well. Even great to see Eric Babb. Eric Babb goes way back. I have an Eric Babb story that we could tell, but not today because it's almost time to go. But it has to do with that dark day at Wanamaker's when we got somebody was mean to us.
Somebody was mean to you.
Yeah, it was mean to the store. Yeah, they were.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah, that's not for our show here though.
Yeah, no, they're not for today.
We're gonna have a positive 2024.
Not for today. We'll talk about that at a different day.
Triple S. So.
Triple S forever.
Candace,
So anyway.
right. Enjoyed the show. Thanks, Candace. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Candace. So,
yeah.
So all you people that came on just to see Tim and Sandy Brown, you are welcome to join us every single Thursday. So
we're here when we are. One of us will be here every week, but
yeah,
they just canceled school for tomorrow.
Oh, good. I'm hoping that they close the store tomorrow, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to drive in just so we can close early. Now that I live closer, it's not such a bad ordeal. I'm like 3 miles away, so it's not that bad.
Stephanie goes, why don't you just take a sick day tomorrow and stay? Because I've already texted my boss and asked her if we were going to be closed tomorrow or not, or if we could just work from home. But she did say that we will check tomorrow's weather in the morning. If you can make it, please come in. But if I happen to have to take my Hyundai Sonata and it doesn't get through the snow, then I guess you can make it.
And you know what's really exciting?
Talk about that on here. We should end the show.
You know what's really exciting too is that we didn't hear Trisha doing the dishes today.
That is
true. I gave her the night off.
Wow. For all the women out there, I do apologize to you on behalf of my co-host that the women have to do dishes. I just don't, You gave her the night off.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Love her.
So anyways, do your spiel.
Well, everybody, as we are heading into 2024, and let's always, as I say every single week, please be kind and courteous to everybody in the retail service industry, because after all, we are working ourselves to the bone to try to make sure that your day and your shopping experience is as good as it can be. So please be nice and kind and courteous to everybody in that industry. It's not our fault. We're shorthanded. That's just the way it is. So, and as always, it's our differences that make us great. So let's please be tolerant of people that may look, think, and just may be a little bit different than you are. Because after all, who would want to live in a society where we're all exactly the same? Because God forbid we all had to be like Ryan.
Yeah. So appreciate y'all for hanging out. Hey, we're just somebody new here just came in at the end, but appreciate it, guys. Every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Thursday night barbecue chat. We'll see.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, I didn't
see ya.